It's too hot. Hey, what's up, you guys? It is Shacey Bender. I'm Cheyenne. And I'm Sierra, and welcome back to this week's video. Today is a very exciting day. We've been wanting to make this video for a while now, and I'm excited to finally get to talk about this movie. I know most of the time we talk about Disney Channel cringe, but now we're just gonna talk about something that's cringe that's not Disney Channel. We're trying to branch out. All we do is talk about cringe, and I love this cringy movie. So today we are going to be revisiting the Amazon Prime original Cinderella film from, I believe, 2021. Cinderella? Oh wait, it's Ella, y'all. Get it right.
The girl's name is Ella, y'all.
Get it right. Also, I know that I just said that this movie is really cringe, but you should all know by now that I am eating this up. This movie is genuinely bad in so many ways. We know that this movie is not anything new. It's been talked about by so many people for a while now, which is why we honestly wanted to wait to make a video about it, so we could come up with a new, fresh idea and perspective, which is what we're doing today. We didn't want to just talk about how bad the plot and, you know, the awkwardness of the movie is. Not many people talk about purely the music from this film. And since the whole gimmick with this movie is that it's a jukebox musical version of Cinderella, today we are going to rank the songs from the movie from worst to best and give explanations as to why. Everyone already knows that this movie has a pretty bad reputation and has probably seen clips going viral from the songs in the movie that gained popularity because of the bad singing in it. That's why when we went to watch this movie, I really wanted to watch it with an open mind so we could really see whether the movie and the music were both really bad. And I've watched the movie like 5+ times by this point, so I think we know where that went. Clearly, I ended up obsessed. So we are going to talk a little bit about our thoughts on the movie overall quick right before we get into the song ranking. And we also have a weird story about us that relates to Nicholas Galitzine, but we'll save that for the end of the video. I never knew that I had like some sort of weird connection with him until like a year ago, and I remembered who he was. It's kind of crazy. Our quick little movie review. It's a pretty basic Cinderella film. I mean, they tried to give Cinderella more of a character by giving her like an interest. You mean Ella?
Get it right.
She obviously proved that she could have both. She does get the prince, and she also still gets to do stuff with her dresses. The main issue, though, with this movie is that Cinderella's story plot lines have been done so many times before in so many movies. Cinderella story, Hilary Duff. Another Cinderella story, Selena Gomez. A Cinderella, Brandy. It's been done a million times before, and this movie did nothing to stand out. Because yeah, like, it's a musical, but so is the Brandy one. It doesn't help it stand out at all because they picked the most basic song choices I could possibly think of, but we'll obviously get into that. But this movie is just very infuriating because honestly parts of it have potential. You start going into this movie being like, okay, kind of like it, and then they lose it. They lose any like charm that they had. Like, I genuinely think this movie could have been good, but it fell off. The comedy is really odd in this movie. Some parts are just so flat out unfunny. And then other parts are cringy in a way where it's like, it's so cringy that you have to just laugh at it. It's not any of the actors' faults in any way. The writing is just not good. The movie is mostly unintentionally funny, which is why I kind of go back to watch it. It elevated it to a higher place. Yeah. Like, it made the cringe a different type of cringe that I really enjoyed. I like the aesthetics of the movie, to be honest, especially with the stepmother and the stepsisters. I don't know, they just have really like bright, flashy colors going on with them. And it was nice to look at. This next point I just have to talk about because it's probably actually the worst thing about this movie. Beyond everything else, it could have been, you know, bad writing, bad jokes, but the movie itself, like the actual pacing, the whole movie gets ruined by this awful tonal shift that they decided to have. It gets boring even before the ball happens. The pacing of this movie is that bad. It's just honestly hellish to get through. It's torturous. It feels so irritating because even though not all of the jokes, like not all of the comedy was good during the first half, you start to get used to the light-hearted comedic tone that they had, and that's actually what I liked about the movie in the first place, which is why I can't fully say that I hate this movie. But then, around when the ball happens, they have this tonal shift. They start to take the lackluster romance they have going on way too seriously. It's like we're watching two different movies right now. And the only thing I can compare it to is Deadpool, because that's the only thing that I last watched. But when I was watching that movie, the tonal shift, like, it got serious, but there was still constant jokes. The jokes stopped completely in this movie. Sorry, I know I'm, like, really making a weird connection right now. Sorry, we are just comic book people. I actually have a Spider-Man shirt on right now. Look, I'm sorry, I am a three-dimensional person with other interests, like, outside of, Cinderella. But that's the only connection, like, the only comparison I can make where, like, a different film did it better. Yeah, even though, like, they're nothing alike. Yeah. Another problem I have with this movie is just two simple words. James Corden. And I'm sorry, there's going to be a lot of James Corden hate in this video, and I don't really know what he's like personally, obviously, so I'm not, like, saying anything about him as a person or trying to attack his character, but I just can't stand him being put in all these different movies where he's not needed, and I was just kind of done after seeing anything Carpool Karaoke, as well as the stupid performances in the street during traffic. This movie did not utilize its actors, aka Miss Tracy Turnblad. I'm sorry, I can't think of what her name is in real life, but she is an amazing singer, and she barely sang in this movie. And at the times where she did, she was phenomenal. It's like they gave people that didn't have a musical theater background more time to sing than the people that did. Our final official rating of this film after all of these points is a generous 5 out of 10. That is like just how you actually feel when you watch the movie, and it's pretty bad overall. If I had to rate how I feel, like how much I actually like it secretly, it's only a 6. It only gets one more point. But it's honestly too bad that when you think about the movie as a whole, you can't give it that. It's funny because I don't think this movie is unwatchable though. Absolutely not. It's not as bad as everyone said it was, but it's also not good. We ironically still like the movie, and we watch it every once in a while. We'll be like, do you want to put that on? It's just like watching a Hallmark movie. Like, you put the Hallmark channel on because you're either like bored and you want to watch something that you don't have to pay attention to, or it's a good thing to have on in the background when you're working. You know, just like every once in a while a music number like comes in. So let's get into the official song ranking. There are a few things that we have to put out there first, just so all the criteria and everything makes sense. So to preface this, let me just say that creating this list was pure torture. You should be grateful that you are even viewing this video right now. It actually made me hate the movie even more than I thought I did. I know a lot of people actually like jukebox musicals, but for me personally, it's a glaring red flag. And this movie is absolute proof of my feelings. I've seen a few jukebox musicals, and they're either just, oh, okay, like mediocre, or they're really bad. It's weird because I like Glee, but I don't like jukebox musicals. I actually can't stand them. I've seen so many just ones. And also, how we will be ranking this It's not just on the songs themselves, we are also ranking it based on how it feels to watch the scenes with the songs in it by whatever point in the movie, how it makes sense contextually with the movie, the visuals and the choreography, because that all goes into what makes a good musical. So all of those factors will contribute to our ranking. Okay guys, give it up for last place! In 10th place, we have Perfect, as in a cover of Perfect by Ed Sheeran. Perfect? More like not perfect. When I tell you this is the most lazy song choice imaginable, I really, truly do mean that. I never want to hear this song ever again. How many white women's weddings do I have to see this at? To be like, this song is overplayed. Not to mention the fact that there is no chemistry here at all between the two love interests. It's just so awkward in my opinion. Well, obviously they met earlier in the movie. In this movie, they meet before the ball while he's in disguise, like a little Aladdin moment. Just like how they did in the Brandy one. And Hilary Duff. And Selena Gomez.
Yeah,
They did
like
in all
every
of
other
those version except for the original Cinderella film. So yes, they met earlier in the movie, but there is no reason that they should be ready to sing this song at any capacity. They barely know each other. They literally met like maybe a week ago. Again, this is a white woman's wedding song. You would have to already be in a long-term relationship for this song to make sense. This is a wedding song. And I'm a white woman. I understand this completely. I would know. And there's nothing wrong with being a white woman playing this song at your wedding. But it is a crime against me because I hate it. I know I sang it on YouTube like years ago. I know. You're one of those white women. I would never have this at my wedding. That's so disgusting. Ugh, this just gets worse as we keep going. I can't help but, like, sink into myself and cringe at the lyric change that they did in this song. We may be kids, but we're so in love. Y'all are not kids, y'all are 26-year-olds, and you are not in love. You literally met yesterday. Honestly, yikes. Because it's just the fact that, like, he's really giving the performance being like, we are in love, and it's like, no! We did not see that build up for this to happen, and he's being like, we may be kids. And they stop to, like, have a little chuckle. This is just such a tell, not show situation, and I am not invested in this relationship, even though it's the whole movie. Then the difference between Camila Cabello's accent and Nicholas Galatzin's accent makes me frustrated because they pronounce things completely different when they're singing the same thing and they're supposed to be singing together. Nothing bothers me more than when there's like a song collab or there's two people singing on the same track and they don't sing things the same way. So when you're listening to it, it all feels off. Because I would even argue, like, they did harmonize well in the song. Both of them did exactly what they needed to do. Again, this is none of the actors' fault. They should have been given more direction so the whole song would feel more cohesive. They did what they were supposed to do and they did it well, but I don't particularly like the way their voices pair together. I don't either. They did slay the choreography though. They honestly have more chemistry with the dancing than the singing, but it feels like he likes her and she's just like, he's mid. I just get that vibe because she's like during the whole scene and he's like longing for her and she doesn't like him. She's like, he's okay. He's just giving more passion to the scene. And she's just like, okay, I guess I'll go along with this. Like, I don't really like you, but I have no other option. This song is a 1 out of 10. The next song in 9th place is Am I Wrong? Yes. Although this got bumped up in the ratings, this song we rated a 4 out of 10. Not sure why so many people who actually like this movie like this song. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because to be honest, this could have easily been in last place. Yeah, if it weren't for Perfect being such a basic song choice, this would be last place. Yeah. All of the music in this movie is so hard to listen to.
It just makes me sad.
It just makes me sad because it feels like at certain parts, the music producers just gave up on Camila. If she, messed it up or she like had vocal strain, they're just like, ugh, we don't feel like letting her try again. Or we don't feel like fixing this in the editing and like auto-tuning her voice. And they're just like, we'll just take what we got. Just leave it, the way it is.
Because explain why everyone else's vocals in the movie sound crisp and like they were slightly auto-tuned, but hers just absolutely nothing on it.
It sounds like it was recorded on an iPhone. You know how like those street interviewers on TikTok, like they'll hold their phone and like talk into their mic? This is what it sounds like. And it sounds completely unedited.
It doesn't even sound like they put a stabilizer on it. Even if you were gonna put auto-tune, at least put a stabilizer. The audio quality of the actual music itself sounds completely different than the whole thing together with the vocals on top.
Like the instruments, okay. But then the vocals, not so good. The music producers are villains for this, genuinely. They are also villains towards the prince's sisters singing as well, in my opinion. I actually assumed that the actress for the sister's role was not a singer because of this song. So I was shocked to find out that she can sing, and in fact, she can sing extremely well.
She sang in a different movie called Our Ladies or something, and she was really good in the song that I listened to from it. It just makes me question, like, what even happened during the making of any of these songs. And on top of that, this is just not the style of song I would give her. Although she sounded really good here where she seemed more confident and relaxed. In the other movie she was in, it was very much church choir-esque. This song is just a disservice to all the actors involved. And I have a lot to say because, I love how there was just like a cringe jam session. We have to have a jam session with the boys at the fountain, trying to reach the things that I can't see.
She is constantly impersonating Nicholas Galitzine from this movie.
And then my favorite thing ever from this entire movie, which I say the most that I recite, is the "Am I wrong?" guy. Am I wrong? He just brightens my day. He is living life. He's like so happy about it. And that's the most confusing thing about this scene. Like, there's supposed to be so much tension, but for some reason, everyone's like too happy in it.
Well, a lot of the characters are sad, but then the prince and his friends are all like, yeah, like, out.
Jam out.
Yeah.
I like to rock out. Like,
I just don't really know what's happening. Like, it really threw me off. Why were they so happy? Tracy from Hairspray Live, not utilized again. She had one little part where she sang and she sounded amazing, and then that was it. She got like 2 seconds in the song. And then the difference with the accents, it happened again at this part, and not even necessarily with Nicholas Galitzine, but the sister, because I think one of the big issues with her in this song, and I'm not blaming the actress or anything when I say this, again, I don't think these people were given good direction for this music, and the producing was not very good either. But she was talk singing a lot. It was like someone told her, just be British. That's just how I feel, trying to reach the things that I can't see.
This song was just a poor choice. I don't like it. And of course we had to dock points from this song because of a Thomas appearance.
Ew, Thomas. This scene, like we said, like, it's already confusing, and then there's bad visuals. The stupidest thing that I can recall from this scene is the part where the queen is putting a measuring tape up to her throne and the king's throne, and she is, like, seeing how his seat sits up higher than hers. How obvious do you have to make it that she's undervalued? That she is, like, putting a measuring tape up to it to see that his is taller than hers.
We can see that.
I just wish that they didn't do something so stupid like that. Like, why couldn't they just have her look at how his is taller than hers, not getting a whole measuring tape?
Because it was already brought up earlier in the movie, hey, his chair is taller than hers. And you can visibly see that.
I don't know. This whole scene just didn't hold the emotional weight that it should have. 4 out of 10. At 8th place, we have Rhythm Nation / You Gotta Be mashup. Why do I hate this town? I just can't stand the people living here. They're just so annoying. They think that they're like so quirky. I just don't really know. They're like, we're a part of the Rhythm Nation. Shut up. I just don't like them. And then what really made me mad is the fact that they did a little bit of choreography to match the beats of the song, because it's, you know, it's Rhythm Nation with the really hard hitting beats. And then they just kind of only did it a little bit. It's like, if you're going to commit to doing choreography that matches the beats, do it. By the way, the lack of choreography that I was talking about here, I was only referring to the beginning of the scene, not the end of it, because at the end of it, they had a lot of consistent choreography. Like, don't just do it like for a few beats and then stop and then everything else is flowy choreography or no choreography at all, and then there's randomly choreography again. Please stop. Because it really could have elevated the scene if there was more of it. I wish that when they were carrying, I'm not sure what it was, a barrel, a jug, but like bam, 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 like it should match. We are a part of the Rhythm Nation. Why wasn't it like, we are a part? We are apart. Like, why wasn't it matching? It wasn't matching! Why would you try to match it at some parts and then, like, leave the rest? The sounds and the movements weren't intense enough for me. There was just way too little choreography. It didn't hit. It just really needed to be more like Scrub Scrub from Wonka. That's all I'm asking for. I just like the stepsisters, guys. I wish they had more time in the movie. I like when they're present. They were good in the song. Also, shut up, fairy godmother narrator. With this scene specifically, because I actually like the fairy godmother, yeah, just not as the narrator. I think the narration in this film, like, just bothers me. Because the song gets cut off, all for him to just be like, you're gonna roll over on that pin! The narration was just cringy. When Billy Porter was actually on screen as the fairy godmother, I really liked it. But as the narrator, I didn't care for it. I mean, at least we got, it's Ella, y'all, get it right?
Get it right!
You constantly quote that. She loves this movie, guys. Camila sounded pretty good in this song, but then they screwed up some of her parts again and didn't fix them in post-production. They just screwed her over so bad, and it's depressing because it's like genuinely obvious that Camila Cabello can sing. But they put so much less effort into her parts. Like, yeah, and she's the main character. Like, what are you doing? Again, recorded on an iPhone. The audio doesn't sound crisp. It sounds like she's in a closet recording the song on her iPhone and using GarageBand without auto-tune. You can vividly see the difference between songs where they put more effects on her voice than others, because, again, clearly she can sing. But the problem is, this is a production. This is a fully made production with a big budget. Like, we know, this is an Amazon Prime movie. So for them to be doing all this stuff for everyone else and not her, it, like, upsets me. Why did they not care about her? I don't hate the mashup, but I also don't love the mashup either. Like, this isn't Glee, it's not Mashup Monday. This week's theme is Gaga. I said it's not. This week's theme is not Gaga because it's not Glee. I have to dock points again for an annoying character appearance. This time it was the 3 mice. I really just don't want to see the James Corden rat. Honestly, I don't want to see the mice at all, not even just his. There are no Gus Gus, like no Cinderella. The mice didn't add anything into this film. They're just here so people can escort her to the ball. Like, they're not even, like, really characters. Any other time that they're in the movie, so annoying. I literally can't help but just be so annoyed at Camila or Ella singing Love Will Save the Day over and over again, because the romance in this movie is not that good. It's not grand as it should be, you know? Honestly, the romance, kind of boring. 5 out of 10. In 7th place, we have Let's Get Loud. This is just disappointing again, very basic song choice, but we'll get more into that later. This song actually kind of works for the queen, since her plot throughout the whole movie was about being shut up by the king. So, yeah, you know, she's like, let's get loud. I'm being vocal for once. But other than that, the song is just a generic party song to have the characters dance to at the end. Because I think, honestly, if it wasn't at the end of the movie, I wouldn't think it's so generic, but the fact that they're putting it at the end
But
so
then-
they could have like a little dance party, you know, the only movie that a dance party ending was okay in was Scooby-Doo 2. So literally don't act like you are even on the same level. I want to thank you for letting me be myself again.
More importantly, the song has nothing to do with the main couple, which was the whole point of this movie.
Yeah, again, it really has so much more to do with the queen. I guess you could say it's kind of about Ella because she didn't want to marry Thomas and she wanted her stuff, so it's like
That's even reaching.
But like at this point in the movie, that was not her being vocal, being like, oh, like I'm gonna do what I want.
She already was earlier.
I don't know. I just feel like it had nothing to do with the couple.
It was annoying because the ending of this movie should be their ending if the whole movie is about this relationship. I just wish that the movie didn't end on a song at all if this is what we got.
The choreography was really good, honestly. I kind of liked it. It was very on beat, and it was, honestly, it got crazy.
Let's get loud.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. I feel like it was some of the best choreography from the movie as a whole. The song and the scene is not bad on its own. It's just the fact that it's the end of the movie. And when you know how horrible and disgusting it feels when you get to the end of the movie, feeling like you wasted your time,
You're just so exhausted by the
Yeah.
end. You just start to really have like a festering hatred for the song.
I remember being so exhausted and tired when I got to this point when I watched this movie for the first time. But see, that's the thing. I was watching it seriously, and I shouldn't have, because now I watch it like, oh my god, this is so cringy, I love it. And then we're quoting it. But, you know, when you're watching it for the first time, it feels like forever, and you just want to get out of it.
The movie's already exhausting by this point, and the song is exhausting because it's way too long for what it should be. It's almost 5 minutes. It's basically 5 minutes of them just saying, let's get loud, over and over.
Yeah, because the song is not that complicated. And then the king joined in as the queen was singing at the beginning, which really irritated me because literally, again, this is supposed to be her moment of getting her time to speak and not him. And he starts speaking. Like, shut up. Oh my god.
And like people could argue he was supporting her, but no, he's like, let me have my moment. Funnily enough, the couple had the most chemistry here for some reason when it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was not their moment at all. They faded into the background. Sometimes they didn't even dance with each other in the scene.
But it actually felt like she wanted him for some reason. Like, the way she was looking at him in this scene and the way that they were looking at each other, it felt like they actually wanted to be together, not like, oh, he's mad.
Like in the perfect scene.
Yeah.
This scene had all the energy and rhythm that Rhythm Nation should have had.
The dancing was really on beat and it was hard hitting. It was really good.
And then they had all the people in the town like hitting stuff, and it actually worked. The sounds were loud enough, they were harsh enough, it was good.
This is the only song that they didn't do anything weird with Camila's vocals. The only song is the song at the end, where they didn't screw up her vocals. The audio quality for her vocals in this song sounds absolutely nothing like the rest of the movie.
And it kind of seems just messed up because you know that it's good because it wasn't her singled out. It's a whole crowd singing Let's Get Loud, which is why they actually put effort into it. Elsa comes back for a little bit and it's so dramatic. I love how she's just like, no, no.
You know what I really hate? The fact that, once again, she's singing Love Will Save the Day, and that's the last thing said in the whole film. Well, other than, like, probably what, like, the narrator says. But it's, like, honestly unrelated at this point, saying love will save the day.
And we had to dock points because the mice were in it again.
5 out of 10. So now we're at number 6 on the list. We have Million to One. Now this is an original song, I believe. I don't hate this as an I Want song. I actually really like the lyrics, but the music production is bad again. Her voice just sounds tired. It sounds hoarse. It sounds like it hurts for her to sing at certain parts. And it just sucks because I actually really like this song, but the music production is so bad that I can't put it up any higher than this.
Again, I feel so bad bad for Camila Cabello. This song specifically sounds like a live performance, which would be completely acceptable if it was, but it's not. It's just you're not caring about Camila Cabello. The music should just sound more crisp than it does. I like how everyone else sounded.
We love how quirky and cringy she is.
Honestly, she ate, but the movie didn't. She couldn't save the movie.
I really like the visuals in this scene because she's like, spinning around her room with all the dress designs everywhere. And then the big part that I liked was her seeing a clone of herself, which is supposed to be like her future self, accomplishing her dreams, like having her dress shop and selling her dresses. 6 out of 10. Can anybody find me somebody to love? So, at number 5, we have Somebody to Love. As you can see, we impersonate this song frequently, specifically him singing the song, not just like Freddie Mercury. We mean like Nicholas Galitzine singing the song. We put on our British accents and do it. This rendition is just unbelievably British.
And that's the thing, Nicholas Galitzine sings in British, and I really liked it.
I don't know if it's just because his voice is extremely deep, but he sounds a lot different than other people do when they sing with their British accent. Because a lot of people, they don't sing with the accent, but he does, but it sounds different. It's not the best song, but it's honestly our favorite. Like, together it's our favorite. I also have a different favorite, but it's not even number 1. Because again, like, I can like something that's really bad, and it can be my favorite, but it's not the best.
Yeah, I've watched this so many times out of context of the film, just because, like, I wanted to see the whole scene. I like it. I do. I do.
Also, excuse my red skin. I'm just literally, it's so hot in here.
It's literally 90 degrees.
Every time I watch this scene, I get hypnotized into thinking that this movie is decent. Every time. His voice is just angelic. I genuinely go into hypnosis.
Nicholas Galitzine. Wait, what's his name? Oh, wait, I don't even know his name is in this movie because I always forget the people's names in this movie because I just think Prince Henry from Red, White, and Royal Blue. Wait, it's Prince Robert in this movie.
Really?
Robert.
Ew. Sorry. No offense to anyone named Robert. It's not the name Robert. It's just it being British.
And him being a prince. Prince Robert? I don't like it.
I feel
there's
like
no ring to
fit
it.
him either.
Again, as much as I love this song and scene, it's a lazy song choice. Just like Perfect. But obviously this song is better. This is literally a Queen song.
So it's like automatically gonna be better. Because I'm sorry, but Queen is better than Ed Sheeran.
Like, is that even a question?
But I fear that he ate this up so hard that I can't not put this song so high up on the list, despite it being such a lazy song choice.
He is the only reason why I keep rewatching this damn awful movie. There's literally no other reason.
He genuinely makes the song his own. Like, he gives so much characterization just from being British. Honestly, like, the rolling the R's, like, I can't even say it because I can't roll my R's, but, like, when he says tears, the tears roll down from my eyes.
I love the visuals. This scene makes all the rest of the ones with songs look boring.
The camera is moving with him. There's this one part where he's turning around and the camera, like, moves with him. This happens at no other part in the movie, and it literally sucks because it always feels like the cameras are stagnant and then the characters are moving a lot. When you have characters dancing and moving around, you want the camera to follow them and really make us feel that movement. But
yeah,
they, like, did this at no other part of the movie.
But yeah, he's walking through the castle, you know, getting ready for the day, and the camera's following him all the way through, and the scene just flows, man. I really enjoy it. And the choir sounded good, too. There are so many points in this movie where there's, like, unnecessary people in the songs, but I think that it was fine for the choir to be a part of it. They sounded good.
He's just such a himbo in this scene.
He's like, I work hard
every day of my life.
Here's, like, one of the worst things about this.
The song is so good until it gets to the part where, for some reason, the knights outside of the castle are singing. I'm so sorry, but the choreography is so bad! Literally, they sound so bad too. It's too masculine. We need to bring back our femboy prince immediately.
Genuinely, it's too masculine, and that's what makes it sound bad.
It gives me the
and
ick.
gross.
It genuinely gives me the
because
ick.
clearly the people who are singing can sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't sound bad because they're bad singers. It's just so murky. I hate hearing men sing in a group.
It's
that is
murky.
not a boy band. Find me somebody to love. It is,
Like,
and then they're
ew,
British too.
Ew.
They're British too. The choreography, now the whole thing where they're being stiff, completely
Yeah,
fine.
like,
they're knights.
but
But
then they're
this,
like,
find me somebody to love. Like, it's just awkward to watch. I guess I just don't get find me somebody to love.
like, what is this?
I'm just confused.
Also, this is a very much a side tangent, but the sister in this movie is so cute. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, she just looks so cute. She has Kit Kittredge hair. I like her hairstyle, and I really like her dress in this scene.
How do we not bring our Kit Kittredge doll for this video?
Oh no, she's upstairs. I just love everyone in this movie except for James Corden. Please get him out of here.
Because I'm just traumatized by
James Corden.
And we'll talk about the scenes that he was in, like, later and why I'm traumatized. Because, like, if he wasn't so bothersome in the scenes, then I wouldn't really be complaining that much. I'd also like to mention how many amazing vocal runs Nicholas Galitzine has in this song.
It's so impressive, but then it gets cut off by the king yelling at Ella, "Get off my dad!" It's so infuriating because he sounds so annoying.
Yeah, the joke about Ella sitting on the statue isn't that funny itself. The whole situation is just ridiculous. Bird poop.
Bird poo.
I want to marry this girl. But once the song picks back up again, I really like the vibe because Ella clumsily skips away. And I never really noticed it before until, like, the last time we watched it. But it's just so funny how she's, like, everyone is doing, like, all this, like, choreography and she's just, like,
8 out of 10.
At number 4, we have the What a Man 7 Nation Army mashup. Yay! Oh yeah!
This is my favorite. I really like this one for some reason. The Gleek in me really enjoys it. This is Mashup Monday. This week's theme is Gaga, okay? The first thing you notice are all of the girls at the ball in this scene. Everyone looks really pretty. I really like the dresses. They're so bright and colorful. And even if, like, the person's dress wasn't colorful, there's something about their outfit that is. Like that woman that was bald that had literal gold glitter all over her
and she
head.
had that beautiful black dress.
Yeah.
She was stunning.
The colors really made the scene for me, visually.
In my opinion, 75% of this scene is good. After a while, it just starts to fall off. Once the prince's friends really get involved in the scene, it just gets really weird because they add so much awkwardness to the scenes, and then the movie for some reason throws in random sexual shots of the women and the prince's friends for absolutely no reason. Did the girls at the ball literally forget who the prince was?
It's like, do you guys not know who the prince is? Do you not know what he looks like? So now you're going after his friends?
Or are they just really desperate?
Yeah, like, why are you going after the prince's friends?
Like, this whole song is for the prince, so I don't know why.
Why did that happen?
I don't like it.
Ew. I really like how the prince is just so pissed during this scene. He's just so intense and dramatic. So, like, every single time, just in general, when he sings in this movie, it really hits for me.
Hits every mark. And actually on social media, I heard people making fun of him for this, but they're honestly just jealous. I have nothing else to say, actually, because you couldn't do it. And in general, I think it's a crazy claim to make that literally for a musical that he is, like, being cringy and overdramatic, and it's just hard to watch.
It's the same thing that we had to talk about in our Wonka video, because everyone was making fun of Timothée Chalamet saying, oh, like, his acting was so cringy when it wasn't. You couldn't do it. So, literally stop. He literally did a good job. Everybody thinks everything is cringe anymore, and it's like, shut up. I genuinely can't stand how everyone is like, oh, this is cringe, oh, that is cringe, you literally sitting here and breathing, that's cringe. Like, why do you need to hate so much.
Apparently everything is an ick now. Again, we're even sitting here being like, this movie's cringe, but we're also talking about how much we like it. That's just who I am. Again, I'm always a hater before I'm a lover, and that's just how I feel about this movie. I love it.
It's not even that you're a hater before you're a lover, you're just a hater but secretly a lover.
Yeah.
Or like, but
I have
overall,
to, it takes
you're
time for me
lover.
to like openly admit.
Yeah. Applies to many things in life.
Throwing shade and exposing me on the internet.
What, me?
That applies to many things in life.
I was saying, like, about
and
me as
my
well.
favorite decom is Starstruck. Like, you can't.
You love it, enemies to lovers. You have, like, open hatred, but you really love it. Like, the more and more cringe it gets, like, the more you love it.
One thing I absolutely love about this scene is the choreography. Obviously, we already talked about the dresses, but I'm not just talking about visuals in the sense of aesthetics. I genuinely mean that the choreography was perfectly fitting for what they were wearing. You know, it's very flowy and snappy choreography made for those ballroom dresses. They're like carrying their skirts around.
Yeah, I really liked it.
This scene is honestly quite funny with all the women of this time period being so vulgar, aka I think I want to have your baby.
That line is something else.
Also, is this literally rated PG?
Yeah.
And they sang What a Man.
I think it is PG.
There's
There's a lot of inappropriate jokes throughout this movie.
Interesting.
I don't know, this man is just stressed. He's like the whole scene.
Seven Nation Army couldn't hold me back.
Um,
Gonna rip it off.
People love that part.
Ew. He got that dog in him. Where the scene goes wrong extremely. Like, actually, I might throw up because his friends just start dancing like they're drunk, and they just completely start to ruin the song as well as the scene. The first criminal offense was the guy awkwardly falling and them keeping the audio of it in and, in fact, emphasizing it. That was probably done in post. Like, it sounds like almost cartoonish when he falls. And it breaks up the song in the worst way. What are you doing, am I wrong, guy? Why?
You let us down.
And then the rest of the friends also start to join in the song, and their singing just sounds so obnoxious and whining. And I know that that's actually probably the direction they were given.
I know, but they're like, la,
La 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 la.
It's like, close your mouth.
They are the downfall of the scene, just like the fall that man took.
The scene just gets so confusing by this point. The prince is so angry, but then all of his friends look confused, like...
The am I wrong guy was just...
But then they're also gawking at all these women. I don't understand what's happening. But once Nicholas Galitzine starts singing again, and then the mashup really starts to happen, where him and all the women are singing at the same time, and the friends are drowned out, the song picks back up. It sounds really good.
I'm gonna serve it to you.
That's what I'll do. 8.5 out of 10.
In third place, we have Shining Star. I literally have no problems with this song. It's more so the scene and what you feel like based on where it is in the movie.
Shining Star got a 9 out of 10.
The song would honestly have a higher rating if it weren't for the awful pacing of this film. It just has to be taken into account because every time I watch this movie, by the time this song rolls around, I'm completely done with the movie. I am so exhausted and I'm getting genuinely irritable.
And we didn't even get to the ball yet. This is right before the ball.
It just becomes completely draining to get through. Billy Porter, not shockingly, is a very good singer and he brought everything he needed to for this scene and song. The dress that he is wearing in this scene, guys, it brings so much life to the scene and it finally for once adds like glamour, the grandness that we needed in this film.
I personally liked the special effects, not with the mice becoming people or anything like that, that, but with the wand, it made everything just very sparkly and glittery, which I really liked.
But yeah, not saying anything about the mice. Points docked for actually having to witness James Corden, although he actually sounded pretty good and was
Oddly.
nicer to hear than the prince's friends. But I have to insert here how he has traumatized me with this film. Not only do we have to see the image that gets burned into our minds of his human head on the rat body, and then he makes a joke, which was not funny, about how his private parts that he now has as a human were previously his rat tail, so his rat tail turned into that, and he had to go pee.
No words. When you get to this scene, because of how bad the movie is getting, you feel like the people making the movie thought that Billy Porter could save it, but like he couldn't, but like he ate. Personally, I feel like Camila Cabello's voice sounds much better with Billy Porter. I don't know if it's because they're just both American, so they're pronouncing words the exact same way.
Even that, it's the tone and quality of their voices.
Yeah.
It just, they pair a lot nicer together than her and Nicholas Galitzine together. But that's just my personal opinion. Again, everyone sang fine in this movie.
The final note was so dramatic. It was amazing.
Shining star.
Now we're in second place.
What's it gonna be?
We have Material Girl. The dialogue leading up to the song happening sets the tone really well. It gives it like a comedic tone. So it just makes the song even more fun. Just seeing Idina Menzel interact with the stepsisters, it just gave like a really good, lighthearted, funny vibe that, again, I wish it continued throughout the movie.
I mean, they did tell some jokes in that scene, but like some of it, I wasn't sure if they were telling jokes, but I found it funny anyway. I don't know. I just think Elsa saying these things is funny.
Just because it's Material Girl, this is the most fun song of the film, and I know people could say that this song is basic, but I don't think it is, honestly.
Here's the thing.
Like, it's really popular, but I don't think it's
fun while also being
basic.
actually fitting.
Yeah.
Unlike Perfect, which didn't make sense for their relationship.
The instrumental parts, like just like the instruments for the song, parts of it kind of sound like Bridgerton covers of songs, and it sounding like that really did differentiate it from the actual song Material Girl.
I don't know, it just made it feel like they actually put effort into this song cover.
Yeah, they just made it more musical.
Yeah.
It really does sound like a musical version of the song, not like just a pop cover. Obviously, Adina is really good, as always.
But seriously, she genuinely does not just sing the song. Between the instrumental and just her voice, the way she sings it, the intonation.
She really means what she's saying.
Yeah, and she makes the song her own. She's just very dramatic, and I'm living for it. Here's the reason why it's not going to get a 10 out of 10. The farm boy chiming into the song is so unnecessary and jarring. Just like all these women singing and then randomly a male voice coming in.
That's right.
I just
Why
hate
are you
it.
here?
I personally think that the stepsisters, they should be singing those lines, almost like the stepmother is kind of threatening them into learning the lesson, being like, no way, they are learning the lesson that she is teaching them, whether that be reluctantly or not.
The choreography, it's good, it's fitting, it's bouncy, it's funny, they're like, it's just everything it needed to be. I actually feel like, you know, with them, like, moving around the clotheslines, you know, doing the choreography, once again, just kind of like the Nicholas Galitzine thing where they move with the characters and around the objects in the scene and not just having a flat camera. I think this is the only other time they did this.
I mean, they might have done it with some of Camila Cabello's stuff, but
maybe for one shot. I think it looked good, even though the choreography was simpler.
I feel like that's all it needed to be, and it's just very telling that this scene in particular piques more of my interest than the huge group dance scenes of the film, because the other scenes just did not have the same charm as this one. Again, we're like, oh, I hate this town, because they're giving us nothing. Like, the choreography, like, the dancers were great, but also the charm isn't there for me to actually care about the town. It's not like the town was, like, a big thing in it, so, like, what was the point? The harmony that the song ends with all three of the women singing, buttery. So good. Theater popcorn quality. I honestly would listen to this song, this version of Material Girl, on its own outside of this movie. Like, put it on my playlist. Because it was genuinely a really good musical version of the song. Idina Menzel's really powerful voice makes the song sound more refreshing to me. 9.5 out of 10. At number 1. Dream Girl, which I'm pretty sure is an original song by Idina Menzel. She has her own music videos and remixes to this song. So it obviously had to be good for her to want to do a remix and a whole different music video outside of this movie. First of all, I really like how it starts with like the short, tense notes on the piano. It really fits the really intense moment that's happening here. Idina, what else do I have to say? She's doing really well again. It's not a surprise that Idina Menzel's songs would end up in the top 2 spots. This song really fits the scene and the tonal shift that they have going on really well. It's a very tense part of the movie, and I'm pretty sure this was right after Idina Menzel's character actually hits Ella, after Ella said she didn't want to marry Thomas. So it was actually kind of getting serious, but in a good way. This was the better tonal shift of the movie. The romance thing with them taking it so seriously was the bad tonal shift. Yeah. We love a female rage song. Like, everyone's so mad. Yeah, they show so many women in the town and that women that were working in the castle. They're all so angry because this issue with feeling like they can't do anything with their lives and feeling like they have to get married so they can have money and, you know, literally stay alive is something that, like, all of them were going through. It hits. Also, I'd just like to say that I'm sorry that we can't play any of these songs in the video. This video is almost really only for people who have watched the film before, so if you haven't seen it, maybe watch it before watching this video. Like, this probably should have been said earlier in the video, but I just don't know what else to say because copyright. But yeah, this feels like, again, one of those intense musical theater songs. It feels more like a real musical theater song. And this is just my issue with jukebox musicals, because a pop song doesn't really fit the theatrics of these kind of films as well as typical musical theater would. And that's why I hate how people are like, oh, we're just gonna throw in pop songs because it's what people want? Not me. I don't want it. Like, maybe for the general population because they hate musical theater for some reason. I don't know. I'm kind of sick of people hating musicals right now. It's just like, get over yourself. Not that the Mean Girls musical movie was good, it wasn't, but they had to advertise it for a while as if it was just going to be a reboot of the original because they knew that if they advertised it as a musical, not as many people were going to see it. And they did the same thing with Wonka as well, and that was an amazing musical. Oh, I can't wait to hear you talk about this because I know how much you love it. I know how much you love it. Guys, the song is like really getting into it, and all of a sudden, there's a very ridiculous looking, stupid CGI pan shot going from the town all the way up to the castle. It looks so bad and cringe to me. I really don't like it. It just kind of ruins the tense moment with a cringe attempt at cool editing. Yeah, you spent money on that, but yet you couldn't actually do something with Camila's vocals. Where did the budget go, hun? It all went to that 5-second pan shot. Cool editing. Like, they really thought they did something with that. But honestly, I'm not gonna dock points for it. I just needed to vent about it because other than this little thing, the song is perfect to me. Again, I don't necessarily have a problem with the feminism in this movie. It's not the worst that I've seen, actually. Yeah, it's not a bad feminist portrayal like how other movies have done. I would say this is a good example of a feminist movie. But in comparison to the rest of the film, this is the only time where the feminism of the movie doesn't feel as forced and awkward. It's just showcasing the reality of the women of this town, because it kept coming back to that over and over again in the movie, like how the women are being mistreated. So it's not like coming out of nowhere just to be feminist. It's actually a part of the plot, so it doesn't come off in a cringy way.
Once again, no shocker here, because the choreography was so bad for Rhythm Nation. The choreography for this matched the beats better than Rhythm Nation, and they literally did the thing with the townspeople where they're holding whatever and they put it down.
Just like I said earlier, that they should have done in Rhythm Nation. I don't know why they didn't make the sounds bigger and more emphasized in Rhythm Nation. It makes absolutely no sense to me. We like Adina's dress.
I like the colors on it.
I just really like how mad the queen is during all of this, because we just hate her husband. We hate the king as much as she does. Divorce? I see divorce in your future. Oh, but of course, it's an annoying movie. They have to repair their relationship, even though he's, like, annoying.
And the prince's sister was mad too during this scene, because just like the queen, she was being shut up by the king the whole time and being disrespected, and no one was listening to her ideas. I hate the king.
Get off my dad!
And finally, my last point is that I like the piano section that Adina does, because it leans into the backstory of the stepmother, how she had to give up her dreams to be a piano player. That was a 10 out of 10. Beyond these songs, there was actually annoying musical announcements for the town.
Hey, yay, hey, yay.
It was really annoying. It's like, we don't need you. We don't want to hear your British rap.
Obviously, these songs were not going to be included in our ranking because they're not official to the soundtrack. They're not even really songs, but now that's cringe.
Yeah.
That's cringe. Shut up. And if it was in the ranking, it would be competing for dead last with Perfect.
So our final thoughts. What did we learn today? What do we think? Do I secretly love this movie? Yes.
But do I actually like it? No.
It isn't as bad as everyone said it was, and especially having some time away from it, you know, the hate for the movie has died down. I can say that like 40% of the movie was good, but then like the pacing and everything just kind of ruined it.
I think the main takeaway from looking at the music specifically, like in correlation to the film, is please stop blaming the actors. I'm so sick of people being like, Camila was so bad, everyone was so bad in this movie, and then complaining about Nicholas Galitzine. It's like, they did nothing wrong. You cannot blame the actors for this movie being a complete and utter dumpster fire.
I mean, obviously, you just don't send hate to anyone who worked on this film, whether it was actors, writers, producers, whatever. Because just because the movie was bad doesn't mean they deserve to get harassed. The reason why I specifically just pointed out the actors is because a lot of the time they get the most backlash when these movies come out, because they are at the forefront of it. They are the face of the movie, so people will go and harass them on their social media.
It's all in the production and writing, which circles back to one person, James Corden. When we were watching the movie last time, we saw the credits, and I swear it said, I don't know what title specifically they gave him, but like, he was a part of the production.
I looked it up, and it said that he was a producer of this movie.
He was involved in producing this film. He didn't just star in it, he produced it.
And that seems like some James Corden comedy.
Yeah.
I can't deny that.
All of the actors were amazing. They can't be blamed for this. Our final statement is that we hope that Nicholas Galitzine gets in better movies soon, because he is a really good actor, but people generally, I would say, don't like the films that he is in.
And so I've seen so many people that I watch who do commentary on YouTube be like, I hate this man.
It's just like, I get it, because he's in a lot of movies that people don't like.
Purple Hearts.
Oh god, I don't even want to talk about that. I wish the best for his career. So that's it. If you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to support our work here on YouTube. Comment down below your thoughts. We usually have a pinned comment asking you guys some questions for feedback on the video if you feel like responding to that, or you could just literally say whatever you want. We have a gaming channel. We've been revisiting Super Mario Odyssey boss fights, doing the showdowns. So if you would like to see that in our Messin' with Mario series, then go check that out. Hope you have an amazing day. It's Ella, y'all. Get it right. Bye! And don't worry, we didn't forget about the Nicholas Gallatin story. It will be in the end card right now.
We have to be vague so we don't dox ourselves, but so the story goes. We actually knew someone who had connections with a movie that Nicholas Gallatin was previously in, and so we watched the trailer for that movie with some of the cast, and then we also met up for a completely different event, but I have no idea whether we met Nicholas Gallatin or not.
I will never know, and this will haunt me forever. I will never know if I met him, and this was years ago, so my memory of this happening is extremely vague. Like, I was a child when this happened, so...
But yeah, not all of the cast for the movie was there, so I don't know, and because we were watching the trailer, cameras aren't gonna be out, so
Yeah.
we don't know whether he was there or not.
This was a very, low-key meeting. Very, small... I don't know. I will never know what happened. And if he was there and I have no photos of it, I would be just so mad at my younger self. What was wrong with her?
Yeah, this will haunt us for the rest of our lives. Unless we meet him again.
Again?
Question mark?
Question mark?
Because we don't know if we even did.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Get it right.